Hello students, welcome to CivicCentre. As a part of daily economy series, we have starting a new concept. How the country, especially India, has transitioned from low income country to low upper middle income country status. And what were the challenges ahead for India's economy to be grown by 2047 as a developed nation or Vikshit Bharat. So that is the discussion for today's class. The topic was very relevant for your international economics and at the same time international relations, because here the World Bank is involving, and World Bank has been classifying the countries based on gross national income per capita, GNI. And at the same time, as of now, the countries are classified into 4 broader categories. So let's look at the context first. So the World Bank classification of countries is based on GNI per capita. GNI per capita. That is the first criteria. And second one, the World Bank has been using Atlas method. Nothing but the value of US dollar will be considered for understanding of different countries' income levels, and it will be taken for 3 years average. So what was the purpose behind World Bank classification of countries? The first one is cross country comparison. Cross country comparisons. And the second one, whether the countries are developed or underdeveloped or least developed or emerging economies of category, that you need to know. That's why the World Bank has been classifying the countries according to GNI per capita. Nothing but the total national income of a country divided by its population in its average. Here the incomes from even abroad also included, and it is one method, Atlas method, is being used for the calculation of countries. So if you look at the countries classification, especially from last one decade, 2014 onwards to 2024, even for that matter 2004 to 2024, broadly under 20 years of regime, the first chart is classification of countries by income. So if you look at low income and lower middle income countries, most of the countries are on the southern part of map, or developing nations or underdeveloped nations. And second one, countries are classified by income in 2024. So if you look at the first map with the second map as comparison, majority of the countries, whatever the countries in especially South America continent, majority of the countries have been moved to upper middle income category. Obviously the countries have been getting richer. And chart 3, 4 and 5, which exclusively dealt with population of income. So high income countries have 15.3%, upper middle income 8.9%, lower middle income countries 38.1, low income 37.4. These are the population wise. So if you look at the country as a India, where was we stand at? Any guess? Low middle income. That is the classification given to India. And World Bank classification would be based on low, lower middle, upper middle and high income. These are the broad 4 parameters. Under GNI per capita, if it was less than or equal to 1,135 US dollars, here it is completely mentioned in US dollars. Next one, lower middle income, $1,136 to 4,465. That is the second category. Third one, 4,466 to 13,845, and higher income countries more than 13,846. Most of us know these are advanced economies. highly industrialized countries and higher institutions. These are some of the characteristics. So what are the some characteristics of low income countries? Mostly access to capital is very low, rampant poverty. Third one, dependence on agriculture. And if you look at these two categories, mostly urbanized and industries and at the same time service sectors are booming in these countries. So that's why Indian economy has been placed at lower middle income category. So why do countries shift between different income groups? So the World Bank is classifying different countries based on their different income levels. Why do countries have been completely alter their positions? Whether it should be low, whether it should be lower, upper, middle income. These are some of the categories. Why these countries are shifting? The first one is economic growth versus decline. If economic growth is very high, obviously per capita income of those population will be, those countries will be very higher. So obviously the ladder of these categories of countries will be higher. Or decline, if economic growth is in decline or in negative state, then obviously the per capita income would be reduced. Obviously the countries fall under different categories. That is the first one. Second one, currency exchange fluctuations. If currency is depreciated, then obviously the income category for these countries will be fall under the first category or second category. Obviously these countries should not fall under advanced economies. Population growth rates. If population is very high, if you look at African countries, the population is very high, obviously the GNI per capita for each and every person, how much they are getting their incomes will be drastically reduced. But overall national income will be higher. Here their national income will be very higher, but at the same time as population increases, their per capita for each head how much they are earning is also one of the major factor. So if population growth rates are have been completely increased, then that is also one of the major issue. That's why some of the economists or policy makers, what India's case have been attributed is middle income trap. We have been shifted from low to second stage, but second to third stage, the trap have been occurred with the Indian economy. That is most of the policymakers have thought. So what are the challenges for India as a low middle income group, LMI group? The first one is limited physical space. So if you look at historical budgets, especially union budgets, the budgets are always run around deficits. Why? Because India wants to take care of its population. There is a social security schemes plays a dominant role in our largest physical space. So if you look at education, health, the world is contributing at least 5 to 6% of their GDP for improvements in education and health. But what about India? India hardly around 2%, means 1 to 2% of their total GDP. It is investing in their health and education. So limited physical space is available for enhancement of population. Second one, higher income inequalities. So the same World Bank has given one more report hardly 1 month back. Fourth most equal country. India has dubbed as fourth most equal country. Do you think India has fourth most equal country? No. Because income inequalities and wealth inequalities are rising. The high net worth individuals are rising. Income inequalities as per Oxfam and World Inequality Lab it has clearly mentioned that the inequalities have been rising since from last 10 to 15 years. That is also one of the problem. If higher income inequalities are there, then obviously equal societies are not possible. Egalitarian societies are not possible. Nothing but the trickle down approach is not working. Trickle down approach. Next one, jobless growth. So this is very trendy word, right? Jobless growth is nothing but the Indian economy is growing at a phase of 6% or 8%, whatever it may be, in nominal terms. But at the same time, every 1% increase in GDP growth, obviously you need to produce employment. Are we producing employment? No. As per recent statistics from Center for Monitoring Indian Economy, almost India's unemployment data has been flagged at 55% above. These might be plus or minus 1%, but according to government sources, especially ndia and other task forces, but it has been completely contracted and they have given another number. So most of the time the jobless growth is the major phenomena in Indian economy. So what is the way forward to achieve higher middle income status for India? So obviously accelerate inclusive economic growth. You should focus on MSMEs, labor intensive sectors, village entrepreneurships. So these it should focus so that it will create a high impact on economy and at the same time employment. So that is the first one. Invest in human capital, nothing but skills, education, under vocational. You need to provide more skill to the youth of this nation so that they will get a industry relevant skills. That is the human capital investments. Next one, strengthening social safety nets. India is running different types of social security schemes and DBT transfers. So these should be used in a meticulous way so that the vulnerable population who are outside of ambit of these programs will be included so that the social security nets will be used. Promote technological innovations. On this front, India is doing good, right? Digital public infrastructure, just like your UPIs, other UPIs. UPI is going global, right? So that is also one of the major reason the country is promoting Indianization of globalization of Indian rupee. Globalization of Indian rupee. So promote technological innovation so that the wastage should be minimized among the youth skills, and at the same time we will get a better results in the long run. So that is the way forward to get how India should become from low income countries to higher middle income countries, even for that matter in future advanced economy countries. Here you need to understand the important concepts. What is the World Bank classification? How World Bank is classifying the countries based on GNI per capita, and what was the method used for this World Bank classification? Atlas method, right? And what are the challenges faced by countries? Especially we are preparing for Indian examination, so obviously we need to focus on India's context. So what were the challenges and what were the initiatives that will be used to uplift India from lower strata to higher income strata? So that is the information that you need to understand clearly. So that is the discussion for today's daily economy series as part of World Bank recent classification of countries. So if you have any doubts, please feel free to ask us in comment section, and there are dedicated channels also, under which description box there is a dedicated channel, so you can engage with our faculties also. So thank you for watching class. Have a nice day.